Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. As many of you know by now, of the 5 Moon Serpent and Bone October's ominous occasions, I have the honor and pleasure of being at 3 of them. They are on Fridays, October 11th, 18th, and 25th. And given that there are similarities between the 3 markets, I mean, they're all very different, but when I say similarities, they're all taking place in October. October is one of the months of autumn, at least in the northern hemisphere, and autumn has been known as the season of the witch for eons. So I figured I would use the same decks in rotation for these 3 different markets. And I wanted to show you some of the decks. So first we have This Deck is Haunted, which, how could I not use this deck? This is an oracle card deck that was created by the late John C. Jennison Jr., whose name sounds familiar to you because he also created the Mystic Male Tarot, a majors-only gay male-themed tarot deck, which I loved doing a more than a walkthrough series on this deck, by the way. So yes, so absolutely, I'm looking forward to using this deck, especially since one of these 3 markets is the Moon Serpent and Bone first annual haunting. So how could I not use this deck? And of course, during spooky season, we have skeletons. So I'm going to have the Santa Muerte Tarot and the Santa Muerte Oracle, both illustrated by Fabio Listrani. These are 2 Lo Scarabeo decks. So, and I haven't used either one of them in far too long. Now, black cats are often synonymous with Halloween and Samhain, so I must use the Black Cat Tarot. This is a favorite of Drake's mother. She loves anything to do with black cats. This is my 3rd copy because the Sacred Fae refused to bring back my first 2. And they knew I was going to buy a 3rd. They knew it. I knew it. Even though I said, I'm not buying a 3rd. Yes, you are, Robert. Why lie? So the Black Cat's Tarot. Maria Kumara is the person who illustrated it. I have black cat fur on me. Okay. This is a cute deck. I love the deck. It's actually one of 2 Black Cat Tarot decks that I have, but it's the one that I like a lot more. The other one is okay. It'll do in a pinch. Now, of course, I want to use the very gothically illustrated the Moonlight Night Oracle deck, which is an expanded Lenormand deck. I enjoyed doing a full walkthrough of this video, of this Oracle deck, and recently somebody had commented on the video that she purchased it. And I remember that for a long time it was sold out at Tarocco Studio. So I'm happy that she was able to buy this deck, and I'm happy to know that it's no longer sold out on the website. And of course, being a gay man, I am happily bringing the Pride Tarot, a collaborative deck, because I have never used it professionally. And I'm very much looking forward to using this deck professionally. And it's funny because when I was a little younger, I used to work with these people who were not only gay men, but they were also they would also have different events for the gay male community in New York City. And there are so many decks that if I had them now, they would be perfect for events like gay male events in New York City. But, that's not happening right now for me, and that's okay. But I'm open to it, very open to it. And there is a deck that I share with somebody who I lovingly refer to as a walking commercial for Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, because he has referred so many clients to me. He avails himself of my psychic services pretty regularly. And it is the Triple Goddess Tarot. And it's a Lo Scarabeo deck as well. And it's so funny because when he showed it to me, he was like, have you heard of this deck? And I'm looking at the image he attached, and I'm like, oh, you can't make this shit up. Yes, I have heard of this deck. And I'm very happy that I was able to find it because I hadn't found it. You know what it is? If there are decks that I'm not being guided and led to use, I put them away. Because I'm like, well, if I'm not being guided and led to use them now, then, so why am I going to keep them out? Because I'm not going to use them. And for the record, these are not the only decks, but there are quite a few. This deck I'm very excited about, and I will tell you why. So I had a very good friend named Phyllis. Phyllis was an artist. She was a writer. She was a published author. She was also a member of the American Tarot Association, and she was also, I'm sorry. She was not a member of the American Tarot Association. She was good friends with the co-founders of the Reader's Studio, Ruth Ann and Walt Amberstone. And I will tell you that several years before she died, she wanted to know if I was interested in this deck. And I told her that I wasn't, because at the time I wasn't. And then, after Phyllis died, the executrix of her will invited a mutual friend of Phyllis's and myself to go through her belongings and see which tarot decks and which mystical items we wanted to keep and give to others. And I happily remembered thinking she wanted to give me this deck, but I wasn't drawn to it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. And this became my mediumship deck. I began tuning into the spirits of deceased loved ones. And I even shocked the shit out of my life partner, who is very, very intuitive and very magical. And I said something to him, and he was like, how'd you know that? Which blew my mind because, you know, it's not every day that you can surprise a witch, and especially a highly intuitive one. So, yes. So it is the Fenestra Tarot. The Fenestra Tarot, which is credited to Kshatriya, capital Chatriya, Kshatriya. It is published by U.S. Game Systems, and the copyright is, because this is an old deck, the copyright is 2006, so 18 years ago. And one of the things that I did not find appealing about this deck was the sepia tones. I got over that. I've gotten over that since then. And the spirits of the dead began very clearly and powerfully speaking through me, or speaking to me through this deck. And I will tell you, it blows my mind how rapidly it happened. Although for years I've been told that I have mediumship abilities, and now I definitely know that. What is interesting is that I had asked the spirits if Phyllis was going to help me, and they said no, which is fine, because, you know, Phyllis deserves to rest in peace. And I was surprised to learn that my late maternal grandmother is going to be assisting me with communicating with the spirits of the dead through this deck. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with my late maternal grandmother. I used to call her Mommy, capital M-A-M-I. And when I was a little boy, nobody corrected me. So even well after I turned 18, I called her Mommy, and I still called my mother by her first name. So, you know. But I will tell you that it really makes me happy, especially considering that one of these three Moon, Serpent, and Bone markets, one of the 5 of the October's ominous occasions, is on my grandmother's birthday. So this deck will be at all 3 of the ones at which I'm going to be, but definitely it will be in use for the official 6th annual Moon, Serpent, and Bone night market. I'm very excited about that. And any other decks that are added to these 3 October's ominous occasions I will include in subsequent Instagram posts on my Instagram page. But for now, these are the ones. And I will tell you, I'm very excited to have all of them. And of course, being a child-free cat person, I'm happily including one of the very first Kickstarters which I contributed to, which is The Crooked Cat Tarot by the Sam Sawyer. I love Sam Sawyer. I do not give her enough money. One could argue that I've given her too much money, but that's not at all true. I have not given her enough money. I have favorited her Etsy shop, so when I'm ready to give her more money, I know where to go. But I love, love, love this tarot deck. It is so beautiful. I love that there are so many different cat breeds represented. White cats, black cats, orange cats, Siamese cats. I think there's even a Russian blue or two in here as well. But it is one of my personal favorite tarot decks, and definitely one of my personal favorite feline themed tarot decks. And just so beautiful. I cannot wait to use this deck. It makes me happy to use it, and absolutely having it with me is going to be very enjoyable. So let me know in the comments if you have any of these decks, what you think about them, good, bad, indifferent, positive, negative, whatever. I am open to hearing it all. And I definitely want to thank all of the people who wrote these decks, illustrated these decks, and of course published these decks. In the case of this Kickstarter, I want to thank everybody else who pledged and brought this deck to reality. And of course I want to thank Sam Sawyer for her amazing illustration and artistic skills. And of course I want to thank all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And an extra big and beautiful thank you to all of you who have already scheduled your sessions. As always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.